Made with sauteed celery and onions and cubes of bread, this recipe for Instant Pot stuffing is out of this world. Hi Mindful Moms and Dads, Kristen here. As someone who suffers from a chronic disease, I believe homemade is best, but it doesn't need to be complicated. Whether you call it stuffing or dressing, you're gonna love this recipe for what I call Instant Pot stuffing. For years, I've been making my papa's old-fashioned bread stuffing in the oven instead of stuffing it in the turkey because, well, there's a lot of debate whether or not that's safe, and I like to err on the side of caution. However, 2 years ago, I found myself without any space left in my oven, even with 2 ovens. So I turned to my Instant Pot, and boy am I glad that I did. The Instant Pot cooks up the stuffing and keeps it moist and juicy, just like it were stuffed inside a turkey. It's really good. So let's put on our kitchen cape and make Instant Pot stuffing or dressing or whatever you want to call it. Now to start, you need a 7-inch heat-safe pan. You can use a cake pan or a bundt pan if that's what you have on hand. And now for the bread. I use good old Wonder Bread. I know it's not as healthy as wheat bread, and you can certainly use wheat bread, but using white bread takes me right back to my childhood Thanksgivings. You want to cube up about 1 pound of white or wheat bread and then spread that out on a sheet pan. If you can, cube up your bread the night before, cover with a clean kitchen towel, and place out of reach of pets or little kids and let your bread dry out. If you're in a time crunch, pop this cubed bread into a 350-degree oven for about 10 minutes, just to let it dry out. That'll help our bread absorb all the flavors we're going to add to this stuffing. Now for the actual stuffing, you want to start by turning your Instant Pot to saute. We're going to add in 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and we're going to let that melt. You can certainly use vegan butter if you have a dairy allergy. I wouldn't recommend using olive oil because that would make our stuffing taste greasy instead of buttery and rich, the way good stuffing should be. Once our butter's melted, I'm adding in 1 cup each of minced onion and minced celery. I'm gonna saute this up until my onion is just about soft. It'll take just a couple minutes. Once my onion is just about softened, I'm going to add in a half a teaspoon each of kosher salt, black pepper, and dried thyme leaves, not ground thyme. And we're just gonna let that toast for just a minute or 2 longer. We're gonna turn our Instant Pot off. To our Instant Pot, I'm adding in 1 cup of low sodium chicken stock. You can use turkey stock, you could even use vegetable stock. And then I'm gonna scrape up the brown bits on the bottom of the inner pan. And you may be asking yourself, why do we need to scrape the bottom of our inner pan when we're cooking pot and pot? Well, those brown bits are going to add flavor to our stuffing, and you can still get a burn notice if your bottom of your Instant Pot has any brown bits on it, even when cooking pot and pot. Now that that's done, I'm going to add my cubed dried bread. And then I'm gonna stir this up just to moisten the bread. Now, you may need up to another cup of chicken stock. It's just gonna depend on how dried out your bread is and how soft you like your stuffing. I'm looking for my bread just to be moistened thoroughly, but not soggy. Now it's combined and I'm ready to transfer to my pan, but first I want to butter up my baking dish so that my stuffing won't stick to my pan and it just gives it an extra rich flavor. I'm going to spoon my stuffing mixture into my pan. I'm going to cover with foil. I'm going to pour 1.5 cups of cold water into my inner pot. Doesn't matter if you're using a 6-quart or an 8-quart Instant Pot. Place my trivet inside my Instant Pot and then place my pan of stuffing right inside my inner pot. I'm gonna pop my lid on my Instant Pot Make sure my vent knob is pointed towards sealed, and then to set cook time, we're gonna cook on high pressure for 20 minutes if we're using a cake pan, and only 15 minutes if you're using a bundt pan. That hole in the middle will help things to cook a little bit faster. Once the cook time has elapsed, this is one recipe you can do a quick release of pressure right away, or you can let pressure release naturally on its own, whatever you like. I'm gonna open up my Instant Pot, remove my stuffing, take off the foil, and as you can see here, my stuffing is pretty moist, just the way it would turn out if it was stuffed inside a turkey. But if you like little crispy brown bits that you get when you bake stuffing, you can pop your stuffing under the broiler for a couple minutes until it's nice and brown, or you can use your air fryer lid. And then dish up your stuffing and serve it with what else? Turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, and cranberry sauce. And then I'm gonna go ahead and dig in right now. I love Thanksgiving stuffing. It's buttery, but yet the celery cuts through the richness with a little bit of bright flavor and gives it a little crunch. It's not complicated. It's not filled with a lot of flavors. It's just buttery, good old-fashioned goodness, and it couldn't be easier to make. It goes especially well with my Instant Pot turkey breast, which I'm gonna show you how to make in the next video. Until then, happy cooking.